All right now, come a little closer, because this is a story I've wanted to tell for a very long time. People think Christmas trees just happened. Like one day, someone woke up, dragged a tree indoors, and said, "Perfect, let's hang shiny things on this." But no, the real story is much older, much funnier, and yes, a little chaotic, as most things involving me tend to be. A long time ago, winter nights were cold, very cold. The kind of cold that bites your nose, nibbles your fingers, and tries to steal your socks. Families sat around fireplaces, wrapped in blankets, whispering, "Oh dear, is it spring yet?" Back then, there were no Christmas trees, no lights, no ornaments, just lots of shivering. One winter, I visited a tiny village between two snowy mountains, a warm place in spirit, but freezing everywhere else. And I noticed something interesting. Outside each home stood a small, evergreen tree. Nothing on it, just standing there, quiet, green, trying very hard to look brave in the cold. I thought it was odd. So I asked an old man named Peter, who was sweeping snow and mumbling about toes that never thaw. He told me the trees were symbols of hope. Evergreens stay green, even in winter, even when everything else freezes or fades. People liked being reminded that warmth would return, someday, hopefully soon. I looked at those trees, and I felt a little tug in my heart. They seemed lonely, bare, almost embarrassed to be outside without anything festive to wear. And you know me, I can't resist cheering something up. So, that night, while everyone slept, I took a few little trinkets from my sack, a ribbon, a tiny wooden star, a small toy, carved long ago, nothing big, just shiny enough to catch the moonlight, and I hung them on one tree, just one, outside Peter's home. I didn't leave a note. I didn't make a sound. I simply smiled and tiptoed away. The next morning, oh my dear snowflakes, dear. The village exploded with excitement. People gathered around the decorated tree, gasping, pointing, laughing. Peter stood there proudly, claiming his tree had been chosen. He had no idea how right he was. Within hours, everyone wanted their own decorated tree, and within days, the entire village was glowing with ribbons, berries, candles. Yes, real candles, dangerous candles, candles that nearly set several beards on fire, but the joy was worth it. And that was the beginning. One lonely tree, one quiet night, and a bit of magic from yours truly. The rest of the world saw it, borrowed it, spread it, and soon Christmas trees were everywhere. Inside homes, outside homes, big ones, small ones, bent ones, trees so overloaded with decorations they looked like they were politely suffocating. Now, that covers how it started, but you still want to know much more, don't you? Like, what's the best size for a Christmas tree? Are there different types? How old should a tree be? Who had the very first one? I'll answer all of that, with stories, of course. All right, let's keep going. We've talked about how the Christmas tree began, but now, let's answer the questions people never stop asking me, like, what's the best size for a Christmas tree? Or, how old should it be? Or, my personal favorite, Santa, is there such a thing as a tree that's too big? The short answer is yes. I once tried to deliver gifts to a home with a tree so enormous, so gigantic, that I couldn't even see the living room. Just branches. Branches everywhere. It looked like someone had tried to bring an entire forest indoors. Their cat was still missing in it 3 days later. So the best size for a Christmas tree? Ah, well, here's Santa's rule, and it's simple. A Christmas tree should be big enough to feel magical, and small enough that it doesn't eat your furniture. That's it. No complicated formulas. If the tree touches the ceiling and makes you say, "Oh goodness, this might have been a mistake," it's probably too big. Now, how old should a Christmas tree be when you bring it inside? Trees grow differently around the world. Some grow fast, some slow. Some have opinions and lean dramatically to the left for reasons known only to them. But generally, a Christmas tree is happiest when it's between 8 and 14 years old. Old enough to be strong, but young enough to still enjoy being covered in shiny things. I once saw a family use a 5-year-old tree. poor thing looked like a small broom wearing a heavy coat. Adorable, but overwhelmed. Now, another question people love to ask. What should you hang on a Christmas tree? And the real answer is whatever tells your story. Of course, there are classic decorations, little wooden toys, colorful balls, ribbons, stars, lights that twinkle gently, not the ones that blink like a disco unless you enjoy headaches. But the truth is, your tree should feel like you. Some families hang handmade things, little crafts from school, paper stars, clay ornaments shaped like lumpy snowmen that look more confused than festive. Some families hang memories, photos, old cards, trinkets from places they've traveled. A crooked angel that's been in the family for so long that everyone agrees it's ugly, but removing it would cause emotional devastation. And some families let the kids decorate, and the bottom half of the tree ends up much heavier than the top half. It leans forward as if whispering, "Help me." But that's the magic of it. Now, you also asked, are there different types of Christmas trees? Oh my, yes, so many. There are tall ones, short ones, wide ones, skinny ones that smell like winter, ones that smell like happiness, ones that look like they styled their needles with too much gel. There's the classic spruce, sharp and tidy. The fir, soft and gentle. The pine, fluffy like it needs a haircut. And then there's the North Pole evergreen, the rarest of them all. Those trees grow only in the enchanted forests near my home. They sparkle gently, even without lights. Some say they glow because elf magic mingles with the snow. Others say it's because reindeer nibble on them and the trees get grumpy and try to shine as a distraction. Either way, they're special, and we never cut those down. We decorate them right where they stand, under the northern lights, with the elves dancing around them, singing songs slightly off-key. Now then, you asked the most important question of all. Who was the first person to ever have a Christmas tree? Ah, let me tell you a secret. The first person wasn't famous, wasn't rich, wasn't a king or queen, or a wizard, or even an elf. She was a little girl. Her name was Marin. She lived in the same tiny mountain village where I decorated Peter's tree. One night, after seeing all the grown-ups decorate their trees outside, Marin looked at the little evergreen near her doorstep, and she whispered, "I want my tree to be warm too." She didn't mean warm with heat. She meant warm with love. So she tugged the tree gently into her home. Her father asked, "Why, sweet snowflake? Is there a tree in our kitchen?" And Marin said, "Because it deserves to be inside with us." And that was it, the first indoor Christmas tree, pulled in by a child who understood something simple and beautiful. Trees, like people, want to feel included. Her family decorated it with whatever they had: bits of fabric, dried apples, little metal buttons from her father's old coat. Marin even made a tiny star out of straw and placed it on top. It tilted sideways a little, but stars do that sometimes. It's part of their charm. When I visited that home on Christmas Eve, I felt something warm, something gentle, something that wrapped around the room like a hug. And I knew the Christmas tree tradition wasn't just beginning. It was meant to stay. Now, before I end this story, let me answer one last question. Why do we love Christmas trees so much? Is it the lights, the colors, the smell, the decorations? Those are lovely, of course. But the truth is deeper. We love Christmas trees because they bring us together. They glow in the dark. They soften hard days. They remind us of hope, of warmth, of family, of light in the cold. They remind us that beauty can come from the most ordinary things, even a little evergreen standing in the snow. And that, dear friend, is the real story of the Christmas tree. Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas.